What's going on? Oh, the screen share didn't work. What? Well, damn, that kind of sucks. Well, that's a piss off. Well, I wonder why the hell that is the case. We're going to try something real fast, Nation. Apparently something fucked up. I was trying to be fancy. But apparently I'm not allowed to do that. Either that or I am just a fool. We're going to try this again. Intro hype, in case you still can't see this. Well, hopefully that worked. Oh, shit. No. You don't need to see that. Oh, there we go. Now I'm actually seeing this. What's going on? One of the first guys to actually talk here in the stream, in the chat, the Brian Ragland channel actually is the gentleman who created this. Oh, wow, that frame rate is awful. Right. Oh, man. That is really bad. I will get that back up, and I will send it, or I will put it in the chat. That way people can check it out. This is going to be something that's going to be on the CKN versus the World channel. Your feedback would be fantastic. Not only for me, but mainly for Brian, who has been exceptionally instrumental in getting some of this stuff handled, making the second channel look really, really good. And he has, I believe, also hooked me up with a channel banner for Coverkillernation for the original channel. And the man is just, he's a whiz. I'll tell you what, this stuff happens pretty quickly. He's very, very efficient. I need to turn off that in my own stream. Streaming in OBS, yeah, I know. I need to hop on to. I was talking with somebody today, one of my pretty close friends, and they were speaking about popping on over to Twitch. And the more that we spoke about it, the more it really made sense. I haven't done much with OBS. In fact, I don't even think I have OBS on my system. I'll have to take a look real fast because I have a ton of different streaming type things that I was trying out back whenever I was thinking about. I open broadcaster software, I'm assuming, is OBS. It makes sense because that's what the initials are. But yeah, doing any sort of streaming on this laptop for games just is not going to happen. It's not a possibility. Spamming a bunch of nonsense. Who's that? Slender guy? Yeah, I can take care of that. Whoops. Bye-bye. Okay, the first thing that I want to speak about before we get into anything, I know that this is entitled The Return, but I want to speak briefly about the hiatus, mainly because there have been some folks that have been speaking about it with air quotes around it. And I just want to reiterate something very, very simple, and that was whenever the announcement was made, you can go back and watch the tape. You can go back and watch the stream. The stream is present, and you can go back and watch the announcement. It was something where the hiatus was not 100% intended to be just me sitting on my hands doing jack and shit. That was not the real desire that I had. I wanted to take some time away from doing things at the capacity that I was, which was getting to be kind of ridiculous. And basically, the idea of me posting no content was a possibility, but not a guarantee. I was aiming to slow down the output, and really that by itself is a hiatus whenever it comes to me, as the only time that I have ever not really posted all of that much here on the channel was earlier. Actually, it's funny because it was like late December, early January of this year, because I was transitioning into my current apartment, and we did not have internet for quite some time. And plus, there just wasn't a lot that was coming out, and I was sort of in the same situation I am now. I was working quite a bit. Oh, we have people just coming back and back and back and back. How many people do we have in here? 35. We have a lot of folks in here. Need to see somebody that is familiar. Somebody who is extremely familiar with this, with the chat and everything like that. But yeah, that has been sort of the whole idea. And if you notice, one of the main things that I tried to do was take some time away from doing the reviewing, and my main concern with that was that it was transforming itself into a job, and that was not its intent ever. And recharging the batteries has been a pretty cool experience. It's been satisfying, because whenever that Anthrax song came out, I couldn't say no. and that was one thing that I was aiming to try to avoid was, just jumping on something. But I was really excited about the song, and it was really a surprise. So the old CKN from whenever this was being treated a little more like a job or a profession would have looked at that and would have chosen a very special time to post that, and would have worried about analytics and all of that crap, which was never what this channel was all about. That's the reason why I just recorded the video and just posted it. Just didn't care. To hell with the results. Damn what happens. It was meant to be there to talk about the fact that Anthrax had a new song and a new album coming out first quarter next year. They and Megadeth will both have that, and that's pretty freaking cool. On the road to 20,000 subs, Iceman. Any tips? One of the big tips that I will give you is that if you are at where you are now, the content that you're creating is obviously something that a lot of people like and a lot of people dig. So you should really just continue to be yourself and have faith in your content, because obviously you're doing something right. I don't know if you are in any way I don't know if you're associated with a network, or if you are still getting any of your revenue from YouTube. But if you need somebody, or if you need a network that will probably take you on, I may be able to help you out in that regard. The network that I'm with has been pretty okay to me. It's a lot of folks complain about it. A lot of users complain about it, but comparatively to whenever I was just doing stuff with Google, the partnership that I'm with, which is a company called Fullscreen, not only is it something that I don't want to speak about revenue on that, because it's not, once again, the primary source or the primary function, but it is something that has become relevant, sadly. But they have a little bit of a better share. But more so than that, the one thing that I'm very excited about right now with Fullscreen is the fact that I have a representative that is assigned my account or whatever it is, and if I have any questions or problems, like, they're my go-to person. And setting up this new account, it has been on the freaking money. This dude and I have been in communication almost every day of the process, and if I have any sort of problems, I know that I can send him an email and he's going to hit me back in a pretty quick fashion. So I really like the on-the-ball nature of the dude I'm with now. And the guy I was with before was the same way, but I didn't have quite as many questions to ask because I was already established. But oh, you're with Machinima, Iceman? I don't know what they're like anymore. I remember, oh man, who was I talking to, or who was I listening to that was having all sorts of problems with Machinima back in the day? Was it, I don't know if it was SSOH PKC, no, it was Seamus, or maybe it was Dave the Usher, or a couple of the, I watch a lot of gaming stuff. I should really, it's almost a shame that I don't do any of it. It's something that I've wanted to do, but I just don't think that I would do enough or be good enough at it, because I used to game a lot whenever I was a kid. Before I got into music headlong, I was definitely a gamer. NES, SNES. My girlfriend's brother is massive into it. The man is missing out on a huge potential. He's right now obsessed with Minecraft, and he's gotten very good at building things. And it's a shame that he doesn't do this kind of stuff, because he would probably be doing better than me in a matter of weeks, which is kind of sad. Fullscreen doesn't do much with channel promotion that I have seen. But then again, I've also not really run that gamut. I don't know. Most of what I do is grassroots. Most of what I try to do as far as promotion is concerned is very much on my end, and very much the people that watch me. You know, I don't go out and seek more, which is probably a problem. You know, it's very Bernie Sanders, don't get me wrong, but that's, if I were to do all of that, it might as well be my job. And we're going to talk about something else a little bit later on that is going to potentially, you know, we've been talking about it a couple of times during a couple of the different hangouts, but I want to run a couple things past you guys and get a couple of opinions. But I have noticed something right now as I have begun. I have a very, very small sliver of water, and I have absolutely no Monster. I have nothing to drink right now, and that sucks. So I'm going to rectify that situation quickly. I know, super pro streamer here. I will be right back. Mittens is here. Mittens is here. He's chilling out next to me. He's you get to see my massive, big swath of clothing for a moment. It is going to be laundry day tomorrow, and I am completely and totally fucking disorganized whenever it comes to that. Mainly because, quick story. Up until last week, I had not gotten the opportunity to do laundry in my own apartment, building, complex thing, whatever you want to call this. It's like a house. For roughly about 2 to 3 months. The last month, I wasn't able to do that because we didn't have the washer and dryer there. The washer and dryer were removed, and it was kind of like, well, why the fuck is that the case? What's going on here? That's not exactly cool. But the real reason for that was because before that, whenever we still had the washer and dryer, there were a pair of tenants, one of which lives in this building, the other of which lives in a house that is 2 homes north of us, which is also owned by the same people, were actually running a laundry ring where they were getting paid by other people in order to get their clothes washed. They washed other people's clothes for money, and the one that's up there doesn't work, so it's clear why that money was needed. But in order for them to have a house, whereas I'm just in an apartment, they're obviously getting some money somewhere. People down below, I don't know what the fuck their problem is. They have like a fucking baseball squad full of children. It's ridiculous. Oh, I just realized that whenever I panned, you couldn't even see Mittens. That's horrible. Do it again. There he is. There's Mitts. Hopefully that worked. I don't want to pick him up because he's kind of resting right now, as that hopefully showcased. I fucked a kitten until it exploded into a million bite-sized million bite-sized pizzas. Okay, that's fine. But anyway. So yeah, finally have the opportunity to do some laundry and get that out of the way. The hiatus it has been a hellatus. It really has been. It's not been all of that spiffy keen over here. A lot of personal stuff going on, a lot of stuff happening with the family, and I think it is partially the reason why the hiatus needed to happen was because it was all starting to build and get to an explosion point. But that is neither here nor there. We need to speak about the return. We need to speak about the return. Yeah, I know the hiatus wasn't all that long. Yeah, you should have just called it a break instead of shut the fuck up. Who cares? Who really gives a shit? It was way too emotional. Yak, yak, yak. You think that everybody thinks that you're so great. Fuck off, too. Fuck off, too. It was a rough choice. Do something for 5.5 years. Actually, in the case of the channels and such, it was 6 years. And really, whenever it comes to YouTube in general, it's been closer to 8. Very consistently throughout a myriad of channels, most of which are no longer with us, some of which are. And, just create on a consistent level. I was watching a video yesterday by Adosa Buckley. I'm going to give him a shout out because he's one that definitely deserves it. And he was speaking about the rise and fall of Adosa Buckley, and I can already tell that this will probably be a video that a lot of people will be very polarizing toward as far as comments are concerned, one of which will be very supportive towards him, the other of which is going to just eat this shit alive because he talks a lot about analytics, numbers, and all of that stuff, and yak, 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 but he presented it in such a way that it really described exactly what anything is like in the entertainment industry, and really anything in general. The fact that you have a period that's immersed with growth, and then you eventually start to fall off a little bit because there's constantly something new, something different, something quote unquote better coming along. It's the reason why there are some albums that will sell 10 million copies and be considered to be classics, but there will be others that follow that don't have that same sales threshold, that sales alarm. It's the reason why people aren't purchasing Linkin Park albums, for example, at the same pace that they did Hybrid Theory, for example, which is a diamond album as far as I can remember. And Hybrid Theory is if you're a Linkin Park fan, Hybrid Theory is no doubt a shining moment for the band, but you can't discount some of the other work that they have done. I remember that I got Meteora the day that it came out. Am I saying that Coverkillernation is a Linkin Park fan? Actually, Linkin Park, for all intents and purposes, isn't all that terrible. They are a band that I believe gets a lot of bad press and a lot of bad JoJo or Juju or whatever, based around what they've sort of become associated with, and that's not their fault. That's not their fault at all. Hey, what's going on, JD? Everybody who's in the chat, JD right there has a YouTube channel, and he's doing some album reviews, some top 5 and top 10 lists, and a lot of different content. I would definitely recommend that you check him out and give him a subscribe. He's up and coming. He's pretty cool. Been a long time supporter, which I definitely appreciate, but he's finding his own voice, and that's what you need. If any of you want to be a part of this YouTube experience, finding your own voice can be the biggest of the challenges. It can be the biggest of the challenges. Ben is asking about the destruction of 3 Inches of Blood, the breakup of 3 Inches of Blood. It does kind of suck, but I remember the band being one that I enjoyed, but they weren't thrilling to me. Like they were a group that had a great and unique tone. Their albums usually had fairly good pace to them, and they knew how to execute what they had in a way in which it was very balanced. It didn't feel way too over the top. So they will be missed, but I wouldn't be surprised if sometime down the line they opted to maybe try it again, either that or if we see other things from those members. But and he's handsome. Ninos, do you know JD? It sounds like you know JD. Do you love JD? JD plus Ninos equals hearts. So the return is coming Friday for Cover Killer Nation for CKN for this channel right here. It's coming Friday. Friday. We're 3 days away from it, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm excited about it. I am. Because even though the hiatus has been a hiatus, as I said, it is something that needs to happen. One of my friends said it best, which was another real prime indicator that at the time I just need to get back into this. So one of the main reasons why I was feeling kind of unsure and just kind of in my own world and it wasn't in a good place is because I decided to walk away from something that was a huge part of the past half decade or so of my life, and it leaves you searching for a little bit of answers. And she was right. She really was. The more that I thought about the return, the more I anticipated it. I was feeling better and better about it. And doing these streams has been a lot of fun. And that is sort of the theme of the post-hiatus Cover Killer Nation. Its main reasoning is to get back to what made this such a fun thing to do beforehand. And you might wonder, how is that going to happen and what does that mean for the content? And I'm going to explain that to you right now. It doesn't mean anything for the actual content itself. It's still going to be the same style of reviewing. It's not going to change, mainly because that is my style. That has been my style ever since I began. The only difference is I yell a lot less now. And I think maturity kind of does that to us all. While I appreciate that people like the angry video game nerd are still yelling and screaming about the things that they yell and scream about, it's starting to feel a little forced, you have to admit. But in the AVGN's defense, he's now finding some games where he doesn't need to force it. It just sort of comes out because the games and the negative qualities of them really speak for themselves. So the return is going to be all about having a little bit more fun with this. It's all about having a little bit more of an edge. It means that we're going to do a couple of more things like this, hopefully. And it is going to continue to be extremely interactive with all of you guys in the Cover Killer Nation. And it's something that's going to only be enhanced by a second feature that's going to be enabled very soon, probably within the next 24 to 48 hours. And that is Cover Killer Nation is, I'm really becoming not a very big fan of the fan funding Dealy Whopper on YouTube. I'm really not. Really from the start, I wasn't too keen on it, mainly because it's basically saying, hey, just give me money for nothing, for no reason. You know, and now, of course, everyone's speaking about YouTube Red and what that means for content creators. And I don't want to get into that because I don't know enough about it right now. However, I do have assumptions that are probably wrong. We all know what assumptions really get us, and that's gets us being an ass to both you and to me. And that is the fact that YouTube Red is something that's going to favor the bigger channels while the lesser channels continue to struggle. And guess what? That is good economics. It makes economic sense. So at any rate, because of that, and because there was no way for really me to use this to really, I guess, serve you, because that's what this channel is about. This channel is about not only having a little bit of fun and posting some stuff, talking about some music, but it's also to be all about the fans, to be about you guys, to be about the folks that come here and listen to me talk in a weirdly looking room at you know, 6:32 my time, whatever time it may be for you. Some of you are probably up pretty late doing this. Others, it's probably early in the afternoon, or even maybe this is something that you woke up to. I mean, there are other things you could be doing. Let's be real here. There are other things that you could be doing. You know, if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you know there's other things that you could be doing. Yeah. But that's... And what are my thoughts on the big N word and his racism? Troll la lo 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 troll la lo la lo la lo. Way too much time on his hands. Oh my God. Who cares? Who cares? You're going to get a couple of those everywhere, no matter what. Bye-bye. Do I still own Studio 1.0? As a matter of fact, I do. Studio 1.0 is a part of the fam. It is a part of the fam. It has actually been converted right now into a lot of storage space, principally for my dad. And we were able to liquidate some of that, some of the stuff that we put in there whenever we went to a radio show and sold, probably about a month and a half ago. We did pretty well whenever we did that. So we've accumulated a lot of stuff whenever it comes to the radio and the technical environment. A lot of older things that we've kind of assimilated throughout the years, or not assimilated, accumulated throughout the years. And little by little, we're able to get some of that out of there and actually put more stuff in there, because there's stuff everywhere. It's organized as shit. Like, you wouldn't know that there's stuff everywhere in Studio 1.0 right now. And really, that's an extension to like basically everywhere on my parents' property. But there is stuff everywhere. It's just very well organized because my father is anal retentive about that. Love my dad to death, though. Great guy. Great guy. But Studio 1.0 is something that I like to use every so often if I run into a pinch over here, especially with the internet, because Atlantic Broadband's not the best. So anyway, we were speaking about the fan funding tool and everything like that, and this is something that's very much about all of you guys. One thing, JD, I still do go to Studio 1.0. Okay, there we go. JD, you have some power. Use it wisely. And you know what to do, sir. JD, you are now a mod. Brian. Power. Have fun. Big Ben Rothenslosh. Yes. Oh my God. That was my grandma. My grandma loved saying that whenever she was alive. Big Ben Rothenslosh. Was awesome. JD, I did not watch Hell in a Cell, unfortunately. I did read up on the results, and I'm very pleased. I really am. I was, for the most part, perfect in my predictions. The only one that I got wrong was the Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns match. No, I got that right, because I said that it would be better for Bray Wyatt to go over, but Roman Reigns probably would be the one that would. I got the person wrong that was going to be in the U.S. Open Challenge. Alberto Del Rio coming back is awesome. Yeah, if you're a moderator, you have the ability to ban. You have the ability to ban, as far as I know. Because I'm actually going to be lazy with this. I don't want to have to keep removing these morons, these morans, who have way too much time on their hands, and I don't know why. There are better things you could do, dude. You could be jacking it. There's porn on the internet. You should check it out. There's even porn that involves racism. I think that'd be right up your alley. Miss CKN, she's alive. She's at work. She's all right. Miss CKN. I don't even like that. I hate that, actually. Never say that again. Never say that again. I keep getting off track. This is so typical for these streams. Patreon. We're getting there. We're here now. Patreon. Patreon is a thing that will be happening within the next 24 to 48 hours. And there are a couple of things that I want to use this for. First of all, obviously, because the fan funding thing is a piece of crap. It's garbage. To those who were kind enough to donate when the fan funding was going on, I thank you so much for that. I am not dismissing what you have done for me based around the fact that the service itself is not the best. It's something that really doesn't... I like Patreon because it encourages something from me. Instead of it all being about me encouraging getting something from you. And I want to do that because there's a lot that we can do to make it a very fun experience around here and make it very relaxed, do more things like this, and just become even better than we were before. You know, the best part about Patreon is the fact that you can set goals. And that is something that's big. It's big because the goals are something that directly affect and directly relate to you guys, to the fan base. It's something that I can do for you. Something that I, Cover Killer Nation, can do for the fans. That's special. The CDs that are behind me, Brian, actually belong to Miss CKN. And it's... there's an Oingo Boingo, Euthanasia by Megadeth, the X-Files soundtrack, the Train Spotting soundtrack, a Pete Townsend disc, Toad the Wet Sprocket, the Virgins, which, good band, by the way. They toured with the Killers a couple years ago. They are no longer a band, but their lead singer is touring with Brandon Flowers. He's really talented. And something else I can't read. Oh, yeah, R.E.M. But yeah, the Patreon is something that I want to be able to use. That way we can get special events rolling and rocking. And as I had mentioned earlier in the stream, Twitch is a outlet that seems that that may actually be a little bit better serviced for streaming in the future. It might be something that will make the streams no longer viewable after the fact to those who miss it. But it also opens up the potential for more of them to happen because I won't have to worry about those playbacks and those videos clogging up the channel. I like having those there, don't get me wrong, but really people come to the channel for the content. And that's just what I've noticed. People come to the channel for the content, you know, for the album reviews, for the top 10 lists, the... You know, a lot of people apparently think the What If game is really, really stupid. And I think they, in turn, are really, really stupid because I think it's fun. So screw them. I'm still doing it. But, you know, the hop somewhere else and really get on board there is a little bit more of a stronger idea. Like I said, it gives me the option to do this a little bit more frequently. And it also gives me the option to not worry about certain things. Like one thing that I do worry about, and this is something I used to do on Blog Talk Radio. No, not Blog Talk Radio. Blog TV, that's what it was that I used to stream music while I was on, and had the opportunity for the users, for the fans, the people that are in the chat to react to it and say what they thought about it. I would really like to be able to do that again. I think that would be really neat, considering we constantly want to talk about some new music. We constantly want to get into that. And if there's stuff that other people don't know, one of the main reasons why we're here is to expand people's knowledge. And I say we because it isn't just me. It isn't just me that really handles that. It is something where the entire community needs to be a part of that. Masha, huh? I don't know who that is, Brian, but is she hot? I'm kidding. But anyway, so that would be something I would really like to do with that. And plus, it does open up other opportunities later on down the line if I get a machine that is a little bit more powerful. It opens up a lot of different options whenever it comes to what we do with the Patreon, especially considering one of the main goals that I had in mind. And I really would like your feedback on this. So after I mention this, I am going to take a short, like 4 to 5 minute recess. So this is... Wait, I'm answering one question before that. Kyle, post Blackwater Park album. That would probably be Ghost Reveries. It's incredible. It's an incredible album. Don't dismiss Damnation and Deliverance, though. Those are also just impeccable. They're great. But anyway, and Pale Communion is great. Really, every album that they have released post Blackwater Park has had some redeeming factor to it. Now, I've never been to Seattle. So here's the question. And this is going to set up a recess of about 4 to 5 minutes because I want your opinions on this, and it will take a couple minutes to catch up, obviously. One of the goals that I have for this Patreon, and I'm not sure at what level that I'm going to put it at, is that I would like to have it be a 12-hour stream that would occur once a month. So a 12-hour stream once a month that would not only be a hangout similar to what we do with these, but it would also be something where videos that will appear on the channel, they would be recorded live. So whether it be that the videos were recorded from Twitch or whatever, edited and spliced, and then placed onto YouTube, or if the stream would just be running while I was handling the recording in another light, typically would be using this piece of shit, which I hope to replace very, very soon. Hopefully around, I don't know, first of the year or something like that. So it would be 12 hours where we get the opportunity to hang out. We get to talk about just a little bit of everything. And the videos that would be produced, the videos that would be made, I would be walking in with a blank slate, nothing on the docket. Nothing on the docket, nothing in mind. The videos that would be made would be completely and 100% dictated by you, the Cover Killer Nation. I'd like to know your thoughts about that idea. Something a little bit more than, yeah, that's great. You know, do you think that it's viable? And what kind of leveling do you think that should be present for it? Like, how much do you think that's worth? Let me know. I'll be right back. Yeah. I don't know. boy. Okay, let's see what people had to say about this. I see somebody. I see JD is trying to keep people on point here. He is on point. Yes, I went to take a freaking huge ass shit. It was big. It was big. Nah, I caught some breeze. I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to react, and I don't know. It just whenever it comes to the things where it's give me something, blah blah blah. I've had so many people recommend it, for one, and for two, it's something that has always been sort of in my mind because, like I said, I like to be able to give something back. And I know a lot of people say you give us enough, but that's not how it feels in my mind. My mind is weird. My mind is freaking weird as shit. So I want to be able to give you guys something back if you decide to actually open up your wallet for me. I think that's what you should expect. I think that's how this system is supposed to work. I've seen, and we have seen over the course of this year how that has gone completely and totally wrong. And I have seen people that have started crowd funds and things like that for stuff that is completely and totally, I don't want to say unnecessary because it's a great fundraising tool as well. But we've seen where that has gone wrong. And I would really prefer something where I can deliver to you guys consistent results and a consistent product that you can be really, really proud of and happy to be a part of. I want to put those dollars to good use. I do have one condition, though, that I need to mention, and this only applies to one person that is in the chat right now. If and when this occurs, because it will be. Take us through your day. That's a pretty good little idea. But Brian, you're a mod. I know you can hear me. You've been solid and you've been working hard for me. You are not allowed to donate. You are not allowed to give me a single dollar from your wallet because you have already given me and given the fans of the Cover Killer Nation, this channel, and everything, your talents. You've already given quite a bit. I hate to try to tell somebody what to do, but if anything happens between you and I, Brian, it would be that I would bring you on board to spruce things up a little bit more around here, considering whenever it comes to editing and doing everything else, I am a complete tard. I am completely incapable, and I don't have the patience, quite frankly. If anything is done in that regard, it would be bringing you on board to help me out. I don't want your money. Quite frankly, that is just the truth of it. That is just the truth of it. And the fact that you enjoy doing it is even better. The fact that you enjoy doing it is even better. This cat is really, really good. He's got a lot of talent, and his talents are going to be on display even more across both channels, really across both channels. That is my goal, That is my hope. There is another gentleman who is also producing some content as well. His will be on display. We'll kind of do a juggling act with it. Anybody who has ever taken time, thank you. Thank you so very much. It means the world to me. It really does. I see that the people on here really like the 12-hour stream idea, and I actually got a second suggestion based off of what you guys have said. Going through a day in the life of CKN, it's not a video that's going to be amazing, don't get me wrong, but it is going to present me with kind of a new challenge. You know, it's going to present a new challenge of making it seem really kind of clever and stuff. And because I will be honest with you, whenever it comes to my work, I really can't show anything of that. That's not something that I can really do. However, whenever it comes to some of the other stuff that I do, it gives me the opportunity to give some people some shout outs, because I am very active on the YouTube community, and I do follow a couple of folks on the Twitch communities. I really, really like this creation idea that people have. And it really gives me the opportunity to showcase and maybe explain a little bit better some of my loves and some of the other things that I enjoy aside from music. And no, I'm not going to. I am not going to a 2.5 minute long ode to Monster energy drinks, because that would be the worst decision I have ever made mine. But I'll tell you one thing that I would love to do, and one thing that I will aim to do. You might as well call this the state of the address. In fact, why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? You want to see a state of the channel here right now, on the fly, without any sort of rehearsal, without any sort of thought, shooting from the hip. You want to see it? You want to see it? I'm going to give you a minute. I'm going to pet my cat. I don't know why Mittens is so tuckered out, but man, he is just sleeping and purring up a storm. We almost actually got a second cat last night. It was hurt. We almost brought it in. This little sucker over here would have been a little asshole to it and probably would have hurt the foot off, because he's a savage little fuck. Energy drinks. I agree. I'm going to die one day. I accept that. I could die tomorrow. I could die after this stream. I could walk out my front door and there could be a car that comes and just bowls me over. So what do you say? State of the channel address right here, right now. We're going to do this. I sort of feel like doing it. I sort of feel like doing it. I mean, never has been, never will be. Ephedrine. Sudafed is great. Meth is not. Meth is bad. Never tried meth. Don't think I need it. Yeah. Oh, vinyl distortion. I read that too. We're going to do the state of the channel address here in just a moment, but I want to address what vinyl distortion just brought up, because I shared that article on my personal page. I didn't want to pop it onto the channel page because I don't really trust a lot about what is said there. I don't. And the reason why I don't is because Maynard is a trickster, for one. He is somebody that will do just about anything to. He does whatever he wants, essentially. And here's the biggest point of all of it. The biggest point of all of it, and Christian just actually made the best of points. He's the biggest troll in rock music. So there you go. Like, you just watch. He'll say all of that, and then all of a sudden, here in like a month or so, they'll announce that the new album's done. Tool being silent as a band should scare you more than Maynard saying something. And also, we're checking out the new Pussifer album because Conditions of My Parole was a phenomenal disc. So don't even take that to heart. He may mean it, but who cares? You know, Tool fans, I'm going to just say it, can be annoying sons of bitches about it. And it's because they have to wait 7 years per album. But every single time that it comes out, every single time the release occurs, it's bona fide incredible. It is bona fide incredible. Symbolic or The Sound of Perseverance, Kyle? Wow. Symbolic. By a hair, man. By a hair. Sound of Perseverance was my first death album. And that was as late as the year 1999, was it? No. No, it was later than that. 2001. 2002, maybe. It was right around the time whenever, I don't know. I went to a pay-per-view that year, I remember. I went to WWE Unforgiven in Pittsburgh. And I think I got it that same weekend. So anyway, this address needs to be made. This address needs to be made because the hiatus has sparked a lot of talk. It's sparked a lot of conversation. It's perhaps made some people quite upset, especially considering it's something that's ending very quickly. Perhaps it's something that could have been worded a little bit differently. Perhaps a break. Perhaps toning down the content a little bit. Shortening up the docket. Things of that variety. I look at those detractors and I could easily once again reiterate what I had said whenever I was taking the break. Whenever I was taking the hiatus. But at this point in time, it's moot. Because the simple fact of the matter is that it's sometimes very difficult to feel as though someone is being forthright and honest with you. Whenever during a break, they start a new channel, they start posting to it, and they even do streams and post on the channel where the break is supposedly happening. I can understand that. I can understand feeling upset. This was something that needed to happen on a very personal level. Doing something at a high level on a near daily basis for a number of years, whatever it might be, whether you're working a job or whether you are executing a hobby, it is what it is. People have said that they would never do this. I'm glad that they feel that way, and I hope that they can live up to that. I once thought that same thing. Obviously, I was wrong. Life has a funny way of making us wrong. Coverkiller Nation from here on out is a channel that is dedicated 100% to the progress of music. It's dedicated to talking about the music that's coming out. It's dedicated to talking about some of the music of the past. The series that we have may not be ones that are updated consistently. We may not have a day that is just for one series. It's instead something that can happen at any time, which is part of what makes it fun. Whenever the itch is there, we scratch. That's just how human nature works. But what can be done? What can be different about this channel? What makes this any different than what we were doing before? What insurance do we really have? What insurance do you possess that after another short stretch of time that this same burnout, this same feeling doesn't re-enter into the bloodstream, enter into the mind, and then up into a reality? Well, there are promises that can be made, but that's not what we're going to do. Instead, here's an insurance package for you. This channel, Cover Killer Nation, we aim to produce content. Before all of this went down, the amount of content was getting excessive. It was getting to the point where it was 6 to 10 videos a week. There were many days where there were multiple videos being posted. They weren't given the time to breathe. They weren't given the time to love. The opportunity to really be. And that's very much seen in the way that other videos have really shot up the ranks, ones that were given much more time to be themselves. The amount of content that this channel produces may slow down. It may go from 6 to 10 videos a week to maybe 4 or 5. I would like to do one a day. That would be my goal. One video, if we miss a day, oh well. There's enough going on. There is enough going on where that's a possibility. It isn't that difficult to really do. If there's a day where the spark isn't there, I'm no longer going to worry about it. It's just going to be a day off. Plus, we now have Cover Killer Nation versus the world. The reason Cover Killer Nation versus the world needed to exist, and the reason why you should subscribe to it, are because there are other topics within this world, other things that we need to speak about. Whether it's something that's in the news currently or something that isn't. The goal of Cover Killer Nation versus the world is to really flush society down the toilet piece by piece, examine every single aspect of it, and talk about its positives, and not be scared to talk about the negatives. We talked about last week with Star Wars, the controversy that just brewed. And while the controversy is stupid, while the controversy is made by folks much like the trolls that were in here earlier in the stream, made by people that have way too much time on their hands and don't really know how to do anything better. While that is the case, it needs to be said that at least it sparks that kind of thinking, that kind of thought. It makes people draw conclusions and try to search for inner meaning. This week, in fact, tomorrow, we're going to be speaking about social networking. Now, we all know how we feel about Facebook. We all know how we feel about the whole entire process. But yet we're still a part of it. We're still a society that very much is addicted to it. So tomorrow we're going to talk about that. The positives and the negatives, with an accent on the negatives. Theater of the Sun will be returning as well. This coming Saturday is the first episode of the series Ash versus the Evil Dead. We're going to talk about the episodes. And unlike The Walking Dead from last year, we're not going to stop short. That series was abandoned because, again, like the huge gap in Cover Killer Nation videos, in December and January of last year, I did not have TV for quite some time. And now that I do, I don't have the channel. Because I don't watch a lot of TV. But this is a show in Ash versus the Evil Dead that's worth tracking from the start. With Patreon, the aim is to deliver more and make it even more interactive. Your dollars will go far because the goal will not only be to come up with great ideas for you guys, but also to take your suggestions. to take your input. Cover Killer Nation is not a man. Cover Killer Nation is not and never has been just a man. If you examine the words, you would know that. And most of you do. The original name of this channel was Cover Killer. Originally, the Cover Killer Nation were all of you. So now, with the channel being called Cover Killer Nation and having been called that for many years, it needs to be realized by all, which again, most of you do, that this channel isn't all about me. It's all about you. Your input for Patreon goals, things that you would like to see done, etc., is of course always appreciated. If I don't use your idea, it's not a slight towards you. It's something that's based off of what I think that I can actually accomplish and accomplish at a high level. So I can deliver great content for you. I'm not an individual that's here self-serving. I'm an individual that's here serving. Finally, and most importantly, I had mentioned this a few weeks ago, and it still remains true, but that's about to change, is that this is a community, the album reviewing community, that is lagging behind whenever it comes to helping one another out. There are a new generation that is cropping up. A new generation of reviewers, a new generation of content creators, people that are looking to do exactly what their heroes are doing. Whether that be myself, the Needle Drop, Infidel Amsterdam, Count Blagrath, Runner JMA, all of the people that are out there, Fulton's Reviews. Whoever their hero is, they wish to do the same thing. We need to be more community oriented. We need to help one another out. We may talk down some bands, but that doesn't mean we should dismiss them. If that's what somebody likes, that's what somebody likes. They obviously have a connection. It isn't one that's self-serving. Here's my first collaboration. Mittens. What does this mean? I want to be able to deliver to you guys collaborations with other members of this community. I want to be able to do something with the Fulton Reviews, the Andrew Stouts, the Count Blagraths, the Needle Drops, and the Infidel Amsterdams of this community. It does not need to be a community where we are all just out on a limb, on our own, on a wire. If we are to truly push the idea of the whole of music, it's going to take the whole of us to accomplish that. It's going to take the whole of us to bring up the people who are just coming in and help their voice be heard. Because they've already made their voice heard. JD is a good, powerful example of this. He's made his voice heard. He started a channel, and one of the first videos that he made was thanking me for merely subscribing. And you know what, JD, you're welcome. JD, it's going to get to the point where it's no longer going to be a new idea or a surprise that people have subscribed to your content. It's going to become a daily fixture. We need to stand up as one. We need to tell this music business, we need to tell this industry that we're still here, that we haven't given up on it, even though in some stores, in some franchises, it really seems like they have given up on it. That we still want to collect, that we still want to be a part of this process, that we go to YouTube and we watch people that do reviews. We watch people like that to learn more. But we also watch people like this to teach some, to give more, to deliver in return what we have been given. Those are our goals. Years ago, it was said to be the year of the reviewer. No longer. No. We no longer need to rise. We sure need work. We sure need unity. "2016 and the end of 2015 will be dedicated and will be the year and 3 months or 2 months at this stage, considering November is just a couple of short days away. It will be dedicated and will be the year of the album review community. Getting stronger, bonding and banding together, collaborating, and making sure that our voices are voices that not only do people want to hear, but that people do hear. And maybe we'll get some t-shirts, who knows? Other stuff. Yeah. Who here doesn't think PewDiePie is a steaming pile of shit? Because between you and me, I don't think he is. I think he's pretty cool. I think he's all right. Never had a problem with PewDiePie. I bring that up because people are always like, man, do a rant about PewDiePie, do a rant about this, about that. Why is he getting millions of dollars and stuff? Man, he produces content that a bunch of little kids like, you know, and adults. You know, it's one of those vogue things. It's like saying, hey, why do so many people like One Direction? It's because we're in the community of people that don't. So we don't see it because we're not in the community of people who do. You know, you see, you know, I've never seen PewDiePie videos shared on my Facebook page or anything like that. It just doesn't happen. You know, Pewds does everything or whatever it is. I don't see those shared. I had to look those up. Those were pretty funny. I thought those were all right. I admire the man's dedication. I do. JD, I'm going to be heading off here in a couple of minutes also because speaking of Miss CKN, I'm going to have to go pick Miss CKN up from her 9 to 5, which in this case was a, 9 to 8. But JD, I'll see you later. And there's your horn. We talked about Born of Osiris recently, King Upon Maine. We did that in the new release roundup video. I wasn't a big fan. You know, I actually liked their last album a little bit more than this one. I'm excited about Jason Richardson's solo work. And Ezra Haynes, who was in Allegion, a name which I just destroyed because I was too busy pulling out my phone, is now doing work with a band I believe called Skinned. I'm going to give a couple of shout outs before I go. I do. I know I just shouted out a lot of names in I just shouted out a lot of names whenever we were doing the State of the Address, which I'm going to try to crop and maybe post as an actual video, but I doubt it. I doubt it. But, oh, I want to shout out just a couple of quick people because I was looking at my phone because I just got an email that was telling me that a streamer that I follow is over on Twitch right now doing some streaming. I know that we talk about video games sometimes in here. If you guys like video games, Smite is the channel. In fact, let me get you the exact link of this cat over on Twitch and post it in chat. He isn't necessarily, he doesn't have to be funny or anything like that. He just plays a lot of interesting stuff. Why in the world can I not post anything in my own goddamn chat? The fuck is going on? Hello, you stupid thing. Not you, Mittens. You're awesome. Oh my god, what just happened? Why am I full screen? No. Don't be full screen. That is garbage. That is trash. My own chat is not working. This is so dumb. We're going to pop out the chat. There we go. Haha, woot. That's a lot more convenient. The wrestling promo cut. Nalsy is all about that. What's Joey Jordanson working on again? I don't know. Stuff. Things. But Corey Taylor just punched out, I think it was it fucking Finn Balor? No, it wasn't Finn Balor. Who the fuck did he just punch out on NXT? So Corey is apparently hopping on board the old NXT wagon, which I'm down. NXT's pretty sweet. Touch your shoulders, touch your nose. Kiss my ass, fuck your face. CKN. CKN for life. But yeah, Smite TV over on Twitch. Right now he's playing a game called Alundra, which is a PlayStation 1 game, I believe, that he calls, and pretty accurately, the Grimdark Zelda. It was basically the Link to the Past of the PS1. Really, really cool game look. I really like the look of the game. I had a PlayStation 1 for like a year, dude that I went to high school with, and had mainly Command & Conquer games, Twisted Metal 2, some soccer game that was really cool. It was like MLS Game Night. I think it was the first ever MLS video game. And, of course, I had Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII was sweet. I had that on both PS1 and also on my computer, my PC back then. Baron Corbin, thank you. Any tips for new channels? What I always say to people is to just work on maintaining and gaining your own voice. Maintain and create your own voice. And that dude that apparently was talking smack on me, apparently Rageaholic or something like that, apparently he's like really, really pissed off and really not making a lot of friends or whatever. So, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is over there. I don't pay attention to stuff like that. That's why whenever people told me about it, I was just like, okay, that's fine. Whatever. There's going to be people out there. There was that Undertaker freak guy that did the same thing. I'm not trying to shout these folks out because I don't, the one thing I don't want to ascend the nation and invade other channels and stuff like that. That's not really what I'm all about. Whenever I post those comments on the Facebook page, in the Facebook group, it's comments on my own videos. And whether you guys ought to go over there and say anything to the person who made the comment or not is really up to you. And I think most of you are mature enough just to accept the quick laugh, and that's that. I remember, though, a couple years ago, I think it was 2013, it was on the Message to Black Belt Brides and Blood on the Dance Floor fans video. There was a comment that somebody posted that I had posted into the Facebook group that actually caused a massive jump in views, because I think everybody on the Facebook group at that time started engaging all of those people, because obviously we got a lot of
Black Belt Brides and Blood and Dance Floor fans that were coming in to defend their bands, and the resulting like flame wars that occurred and shit posting crafted like a huge uptick.
I have reviewed Emotionless in White Album. I think it was their last one from last year, and they are a band that has potential, but it just doesn't feel like it's been realized completely. Like the album that I reviewed, they sounded like they were sort of in the midst of a change in sound. One moment. Mittens. Here, let me out. Let me let you out, bud. There you go. I just wanted to peace out, and I'm going to very soon as well. Probably within the next 2 to 3 minutes.
I don't know. It just seemed like they seem like a band that could, and I really pinpoint a lot of these bands that have some pretty large followings. They're all groups that have great potential. And I guess I don't understand why so many people enjoy them, considering that potential does not sound like it is being 100% utilized. Like Five Finger Death Punch has the potential to be a really good band. And by good, I of course mean one that is, they bring a little bit more to the musical table. But I guess there is a rule out there anymore that simplicity will sell more records. But that rule gets instantly destroyed, considering bands like Sun will play a grand total of 7 notes in a 17-minute long song, and they don't sell very many records. I guess you have to say the word fuck a lot. I guess you have to basically fuck everybody in the known universe in your lyrics. God damn it, Boots and Blood is trash. I actually, Boots and Blood is on par with Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nay Nay. It really is. Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nay Nay is just stupid. Like, it's really dumb. Boots and Blood, man, is just awful. It's really one of those things that perpetuates all of the heavy metal stereotypes. It perpetuates all of the heavy metal stereotypes. And that's not a good thing. That is not a good thing whatsoever. You don't want to do that. But whatever. But yeah, a lot of the bands that are well respected and well loved seem to have they seem to have a lot of potential. Black Belt Brides is even one of them. I'll say it, I don't care. Black Belt Brides have the opportunity to be a tremendous band. They really do. They have a great guitar core. But their songwriting is weak. Their songwriting is very weak. There's nothing that really elevates them to really the top of the pack. And some people say, well, you need to understand, Cover Killer Nation, they are bringing back the 1980s. They're bringing back the Motley Crue, the Kiss idea of the world, blah, blah, blah. First of all, Kiss wasn't all that good. I'm just going to throw that out there. Kiss wasn't all that good. But second of all, if you really want to talk about bringing back the 80s, Steel Panther basically just took the 80s and laced it with cocaine. They took the cocaine and they spread it on the ass of a big booty stripper and just started snorting it. They basically have done to that genre what Crotch Duster talks about in the song Crotch Opus, where they are reading letters and one of the people says, I was trying to get you to sign my stuff, but you were too busy doing coke off a stripper's ass to even pay attention to us, except for your dog Kane, who fucking bit me. I mean, that's the thing. And another thing that I will mention, and this is just as a generalized idea, don't take this too much to heart. There seems to be a movement out there right now where these songs that are being produced by a lot of these songs are trying to have a more positive message behind them. You know, they're trying to use this hope syndrome, this hope idea. Either that or the fan base is just looking into it that way. Whatever it may be, if it's a calculated idea and it's part of the band's core identity, whatever. If it's something that's attempting to be used because a lot of music these days is trying to promote that, that's dumb. Just think about it. There's always at least a couple of songs per year by artists that are really promoting something strong. But it's a fucking cop-out, man. I'm just going to say it right there. It's a fucking cop-out. Not every single song by that artist is going to sound like that. It's not going to sound that positive and uplifting. It's not. It's not what it's all about. The musicianship of Steel Panther, you're right, is just average. But that's kind of the point. The musicianship of any hair metal band, for the most part, was average. You know, you listen to hair metal and you'll realize that it is dumbed down thrash. It's sort of dumbed down speed metal. It's meant for arenas. That was that whole entire movement. It was meant for arenas. It was meant to sell records. Death Heaven versus Cattle Decapitation, better album, Cattle Decapitation. That album is really, really good. And I know that by the time the Album of the Year award comes out, it's going to be like the oh, that's what it's, you know, that's going to have to be the Album of the Year because everybody's saying that. Why does everybody say it's not going to be cool anymore? Because that's what it's become. It's become really, really cool and hip to say that Cattle Decapitation has had the best album of the year. And here's the thing. It's not hip and cool. In some ways, it's true, but there are other albums that I listen to that I think were better. And what's going to make it really rough is that both Hand Cannot Erase by Steven Wilson and The Book of Souls by Iron Maiden still maintain their 100% score. That has not changed. Not as of yet. And really, with Hand Cannot Erase, it's been 6 months. If it was going to shift, it probably would have by now. We could have co-champions this year. I don't want to spoil anything because the year's not over. But man, here's what I don't understand. And Troll of Metal, I'm so sorry that you came in now, considering I'm about to leave. But I want to say hello and thank you very much for supporting the channel. There will be a playback of this entire stream on YouTube. We did a lot of things here. We were talking about the return. We talked about Patreon, something that is going to be happening in the next couple of next couple of days. And we even did a state of the channel address, which was pretty fun. On the fly. On the fly. It was done without any sort of perpetuation. But I lost my place. I don't even know where I am right now. I don't even know where I am right now. Hell. New channel is awesome. Thank you very much, Troll of Metal. It's building up. It's building up into something, I'll tell you. We crossed the 500 subscriber platform over there, so thanks to everybody who is subscribed to coverkillernation versus the world. There's going to be even more great stuff coming from that. We have a new video coming tomorrow. And
what I want from you guys, there's one final thing I want from you guys, and then I am going to have to go because I'm running it a little close here. Link to the new channel. Okay, yeah, one moment. I'll get you that. It's actually quite easy now that I think about it. I think this is it. Give that a go. I want to know what you, and this is something you can do over on the Facebook page. You can either send me a message or you could drop something into the comments of this video once it becomes live, which it'll become live directly after, or very shortly after, should I say, we go off the air. I want to know if you guys have webcams. I want to know if you guys have Skype or another form of communication, because I just got another really great idea for the Patreon. Because I want to know just how possible it would be for us not to only do other work and do some collaborations with other members of this community, but I want to know if collaborations can be done with the community, with you guys. So whenever the video goes live on YouTube, either let me know in a comment over there. Most of you, I think, are a part of the Facebook group. If not, I'm going to leave that link as well. And I popped out chat because I'm a genius. Let me know over. Whoa. Oh God. What happened? We're going to try that again. Maybe. Oh no. I broke it. Damn it. No, I didn't. Never mind. Just kidding. Oh, it just. Wow. That really, really doesn't like me. Let me shorten that link for you. It's maybe a little bit more appreciated by this shit. Yeah, it looks like it is. But yeah, let me know over there on the Facebook page. Or let me know in the comments of this video what you got. Because it'd be cool to do some collabs with you. And I think that's a Patreon goal that we can really attain. I think it could be something that could be a really low one. Revolution, I am so sorry that you just got in, man. I have to actually go and pick up who has officially been deemed, I guess, by one of the other members of this chat, Miss CKN. Please don't call her that. I know I'm the one that's doing it now, but damn it. Hey, Troll of Metal, thank you so much. I'm going to call up your channel real fast because I'm going to send you something over on YouTube. I'm going to send something to you over on YouTube there, Troll of Metal, because you've been somebody that's basically been active on every single video and everything like that, and I definitely want to be able to get into contact with you. So I think I'm going to drop you a little something. But anyways, guys, I have to go and do what I got to do. I'm very sorry for those folks that just made it in. Hey, how about this? What are you guys doing in about, an hour and a half? What if I pop back on here in an hour and a half for a little bit? You guys down? Because I just need to pick up my girl and get something to eat, get something in my stomach, man. Maybe I can pop back in for a little bit. How's that sound? If I do that, I'm going to drop the, just, not all of you are going to be here, shit. we'll see what happens. If you see me back on here, pop on back in. That one will be unofficial. I won't aim to post that to YouTube and all that garbage. So yeah. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Peace. If I see you later, I mean once I get this stupid stuff. Balls.